John Bull with mutton full while the natives starve and die. All ye men of honest labour, wherever you be found, just John Bull with mutton full while the natives starve and die. All ye be seen fine meadows green and bullocks sleek and grand. Just get your pole and take a stroll and clear them off the land. And if Bob be there, to few man swear and threaten you in jail. And for your good behaviour you surely will find bail. But still you'll find through friends behind to cheer you in your woe. Then you'll be so grand with house and land, yourself you will not know.
It's socks man come here to miss a feed the taratun and gin to foggy loan there to be the oralun. So hey come a day, hey come a day, hey come a riddle, come a dandy oh. There's Johnny there, the foreman, and Jock the sicked chiel. A lot of other coves and the loonies can I feel. So hey come a day, hey come a day, hey come a riddle, come a dandy oh. There's Mary Rose, the catching maid, she's off a git to me. When the master skunks a walk for him, she gives me my tea. So hey come a day, hey come a day, hey come a riddle, come a dandy oh. It's a term new and longing for to hear this career, doing the taratun amongst the ale and the beer. So hey come a day, hey come a day, hey come a riddle, come a dandy oh. They bought a chiel salaba there for all the country round, and the grease over Cardy and Dalkey other tune. So hey come a day, hey come a day, hey come a riddle, come a dandy oh. There'll be fiddlers there and plenty and cheap Jones galore, a lot of strange faces and some I've seen afore. So hey come a day, hey come a day, hey come a riddle, come a dandy oh. Now I'll bid ye all farewell and tay the month of May, and I'll meet ye doon and tara upon the term day. So hey come a day, hey come a day, hey come a riddle, come a dandy oh.
So early one morning at the break of the day, the cocks they was crowing, the farmer did say, come rise up young fellas, rise up with goodwill, for your horses want something their bellies to fill. So when 4 o'clock comes boys, then up we rise, and into the stable we merrily flies, with a swear and I'll vow that we're all jolly fellows as follows the plough. Then we harness our horses and out we to go, to rip o'er the clods, boys, as nimble as does. And when we get there then, so jolly and bold, to see which of us the straight furrow can hold. Now one day the maester, he came riding by, and as he did say, what have you been doing this very long day? You have not ploughed your acre, I'll swear and I'll vow, that you're all idle fellows, as follows the plough. And then I turned around and I made this reply: we've all ploughed our acre, you tells a big lie. And the master he looked and he laughed at the joke. Oh, it's past 2 o'clock, boys, it's time to unyoke. So unharness your horses and well rub 'em down, and I'll bring you some ale in the jug that is brown. So all you young fellas, wherever you be, come take this advice and be ruled by me. For fear not your master, for I'll swear and I'll vow that we're all jolly fellows, as follows the plough.
When I was no farmer's servant, well, I used to like some fun, to mind me master's business when he was not at home. For if me master should go out to view the fields so gay, I was up to the door with me rat-tat-tat, oh, either by night or day, oh, either by night or day. Now it happened to be on a Thursday, me master to market did go. I told him I'd mind his business, as servants ought to do. As soon as me master's back was turned, I went blundering out of the barn, and up to the door with me rat-tat-tat, and sure I thought no harm, and sure I thought no harm. Well, who should come but me mistress? She bade me to walk in. When I complained of the belly ache, she ordered me some gin. She ordered me some gin, me boys, but never a word to say. I had been there with me rat-tat-tat, and to bed we went straightway, and to bed we went straightway. And there us two lay sporting for 2 long hours a morn. The missus she liked the sport so well, I thought she'd never give on. You won me heart forever, she cried, no more your master for me, for he cannot come with his rat-tat-tat, not half so well as thee, oh, not half so well as thee. Now the master he came from market, and he asked me how I got on. I told him I'd mind his business the same as if he was at home. He ordered me some ale, me boys, but little did he know that I'd been there with me rat-tat-tat. If he had, he'd have never done so. If he had, he'd have never done so. No, would he?
Oh, I'm a miller, Tim a trade, and that's the will you can know. I am a miller, Tim a trade, and that's as will you can know. I am a miller, Tim a trade, ach, money a sock a meal a maid. And the curted one of the fair young maids a bucket of socks a meal. It happened last in June when I was in Malino. It happened in echt in June when I was in Malino. A lassie came tripping up the lane. She says, I hear the clatters o' your mill. She thought that she would just look in to see was it in my sail. You're welcome here, my bonny wee lassie, you're welcome here for Rio. You're welcome here, my bonny lass, you're welcome here for Rio. You're welcome here, my bonny wee lass, and what the question I will ask, to leave your mammy a free and baby me free, oh. The laughing wheel lassie give a smile, she says, I can't tell, oh. The laughing lassie give a smile, she says, I can't tell, oh. The laughing lassie give a smile, she says, young mother, wait a while. It's to leave my mammy a free and baby free, oh. And you must excuse me, people knew my horns is turning zero. You must excuse me, people, my horns is turning zero. You must excuse the people, have a wife and bairns of mine. And when I finish this wee song, I'll think I'll hold away.
There was a young fella who first drove a team. Now he kept great delight, boys, in a keeping them clean. And in keeping them clean, boys, he showed a good colour. Well, he gained a good character by being a good fella. Did he, Billy? Now his first horse was a white horse, as white as any milk. His second horse was a black horse, her coat shone like silk. His middle horse was a bay horse, bay spots on her brow. And his shaft horse was a chestnut, her coat shone like gold. He drove them along till he came to a fair. He wounded them there and he baited them there. He paid up his reckoning just like a good man. Well, they said, here come the team of horses, so drink and so grand. He drove them along, boys, till he came to a pond. He wounded them there, then he drove them along. His feet being weary, well, his legs being tired, and his wagon being empty, he jumped up to ride. He drove them all home, boys, unharnessed them all. There was captain, there was short boys, there was boxer and bull. He spread it out their beddlings, well, he left them to rest, and he always kept thinking straightway is the best. Good night, gentlemen.
When I was only 10 years old, I left the parish school. My father beat me to the manse to choice milk and meal. I first bit on my narrow bricks to help my spinal trams, then buckled through my knappen knees a pair of naked arms. First I get done for Bailey loan, sign I get done for third, and sign of course I had to get the horseman's grip and word. A loaf of bread to be my peace, a bottle for drink and drums. Mate, you can't get through the coffee's door without your naked arms. The farmer high and with a know, he's wealthy but he's mean. His horse is cheap, his harness and his harness fairly din. He gars his load were cared sae foo, his conscience is nae qualms. When breast or brocks on the thing like a pair of naked arms. I'm courting Bonnie on in Europe Thompson sketchy deem. She is 45 and I am 17. She clerks a muckle pace to me with different kinds of jams and tells me elke nacht that she admires my naked arms. I started to this Sunday till the kerk portig young. My collar hat was uncut, my breeks were an hour long. I had my Bible in my pouch, likewise my book of Psalms. When on a roared, you muckle gape, take off your necky toms. So Unca swear I took them up, the lassie for to please. Me time my breeks a larket up, around about my knees. I was good crawling up my leg in the middle of the psalm, and never again will I rag the kirk without my necky toms. I often thought I'd like to be a bobby on the force, but maybe I'll get on the cars to drive a pair of horse. Wherever it's my lot to be, the bobbies or the trams, I'll never forget the happy days of war, my necky toms.
The lark in the morning, she rises off her nest and goes up in the air with the dew on her breast. Like a jolly ploughboy she whistles and she sings, and comes home in the evening with the dew on her wings. Roger the ploughboy is a bonny blade, he goes whistling and singing by yonder lone shade. He met with dark-eyed Susan, she's handsome I declare, and she's far more enticing than the birds on the air. He met with dark-eyed Susan, she's handsome I declare, and he bought for her some ribbons for to roll round her hair.
I once was a plough.
Okay, so we're ready to go. Lovely.
Just waiting for the end of the verse, Jerry.
I can't hear it. That it?
Yeah.
Great stuff. The Eva Carja is Rocade Fodrick and Góilín. Welcome, everyone. Lovely to see you all here on the eve of Halloween. So, great night. We have 41 people in so far. We'll have more in later on, hopefully. Great. I have some singers lined up. So, Elaine Dempsey is a sort of a cosmopolitan start. We'll go to Glasgow to Elaine first. Then we'll go down to Wexford to Gavin Bourne. And then we'll head over across the Atlantic to Josie Nangle. And they'll be the first three. So it's Elaine Dempsey, Gavin Bourne, and Josie Nangle. So Elaine, I'll unmute you. Ask you to unmute yourself, Elaine, please. Great.
Oh.
Lovely. Can we hear you?
I get my title these days.
How are you getting on? Are you good?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Terrific. Okay.
So I'm going to sing a little ghost story inspired by the email that we got sent out. So this is a little ghost story from Dumfries and Galloway. The moon had climbed the highest hill, which rises o'er the source so deep, and fair that eastern summit sheds her silver light on tree. When Mary laid her down to sleep, her thoughts on Sandy far at sea, when soft and low a voice was heard, saying, Mary, weep nae more for me. She fain her pillow gently raised, her head to ask who there might be. She saw young Sandy shivering stand, with visage pale and hollowy. Oh, Mary dear, cold as my clay, it lies beneath this stormy sea. Far, far from thee, I sleep in death. So Mary, weep nae more for me. 3 stormy nights and stormy days we spent upon that raging main, and long we strove our bark to save, but all our striving was in vain. Even then, when horror chilled my blood, my heart was filled with love for thee. The storm has passed, I am at rest, so Mary, weep nae more for me. O maiden dear, thyself prepare, we soon shall meet upon that shore, where love is free from doubt and care, and thou and I shall part nae more. Loud crowed the cock, the shadow fled, no more o Sandy could she see, but soft and low the Spirit said, Sweet Mary, weep nae more for me. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Lane. That was absolutely beautiful. Never heard that song before. Lovely, brilliant, loved it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gavin Bourne, I'll unmute you, Gavin. Would you like to follow on from Elaine now, Gavin? Standard has been set very high.
Oh, of course. Lovely, Elaine. And in team, I'd like to give a song that I wrote for the Magdalene babies who've been prominent in the news lately. Is Monsieur Mactira, son of the land? My people before me, they let go my hand. The state and her clergy, they took me away. Our time was cut short, man, after only one day. We were pinned to our cots there, interned without say. They fed us at arm's length, no contact today. Those infants stop crying in a month, so they say. Some lucky ones sold on a new life to take. We'll sing for our brothers and sisters in Tuam, those buried in secret are living in gloom. Their torture is endless, with not even a grave. Christ's heart is bleeding, for 'twas done in his name. De Valera, McQuaid, and society too will answer to history for evil so cruel. Rise up off your knees, be their voice, be their head. Oh, the fools left our Magdalene dead. Stand with me, banished babies, come out from your pain. For without you, old Ireland still buried in shame. March proud and defiant to regain your true name. In our citizen army, the Magdalene Brigade. Chinny,
Good man, Gavin. Well done. That's lovely. Lovely, Gavin. Thank you very much. Great song. So we move on across the Atlantic and ask Josie Nangle. Would you unmute yourself, Josie, please, and sing us a song? It'd be lovely to hear you.
Yep, here I am.
Lovely.
Yeah, hope that my computer doesn't shut me off because I'm running a little short on data, but we'll just see what happens. I'm going to sing a song that I learned from Cathal McConnell in a workshop, and you've probably heard it before. This is a version that his father sang. Lady Margaret, she lay on her fine feather bed. The midnight hour drew near, when a ghostly form came to her bed. and to her did appear, and to her did appear. Are you my father, the king? Then she cried. Or are you my brother John? Or are you my true love William? Coming home from Scotland along, coming home from Scotland along. No, I'm not your father, the king, then he cried. Nor am I your brother John, but I am your true love William, coming home from Scotland along, coming home from Scotland. Lady Margaret, oh Lady Margaret, he cried, for love or for charity, will you give me back the blighted throne that once love I gave thee, that once love I gave to thee? No, I'll not give you back your blighted throne, nor any such a thing, until you take me to my own father's house, where oft times we have been, where oft times we have been. So he took her to her own father's house, and as they entered in, the gates flew open of their own free will to let young William in, to let young William in. Oh, Margaret, oh, Lady Margaret, he cried, for love or for charity, will you give me back the blighted throne that once love I gave thee, that once love I gave to thee? No, I'll not give you back your blighted throne, nor any such a thing, until you take me to yon high churchyard, and there marry me with a ring, and there marry me with a ring. So he took her to yon high churchyard, and as they entered in, the gates flew open of their own free will to let young William in, to let young William in. Oh, Margaret, oh, Lady Margaret, he cried, for love or for charity, will you give me back the blighted throne that once love I gave thee, that once love I gave to thee? Out of her pocket she drew then a cross, and she placed it on his breast, saying, "Here is back your plighted troth, and in heaven your soul find rest, and in heaven your soul find rest." Oh, the wind doth blow and the moorcocks doth crow. It's almost breaking day, and it's time that the living should depart from the dead. So, my darling, I must away, away. My darling, I must away.
Lovely, Josie. Lovely,
Thank you.
lovely singing. Sandy was Cahill's father's name, Sandy McConnell. Len Graham collected that from Sandy McConnell's lovely version. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Josie. Lovely. Tim Dennehy.
Hello, Jerry.
How are you getting on? How are you getting on down in Milltown, Tim?
We're great, yeah. We had a great day today now. Today was the best day in a long time. We've had bad weather here.
Yeah. Oh, it's very stormy. Very
stormy and wet.
And more storms tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, coming in tonight again.
Yeah.
But today was absolutely beautiful.
Good.
But we're in lockdown like everybody else. So
we're all we're all in the same boat.
We're confined to sea and mountain and landscape only. I'm going to sing it. Thanks, Jerry. It's lovely to be here, and I missed the last couple of weeks for various reasons, but it's lovely to be back. I've been hearing some of it on Facebook as well. I'm going to try a song that I wrote myself for my mother for a couple of reasons. It's a seasonal song. It goes through all the seasons. So seeing as this is Samhain, it starts off with the autumn kind of straddled into winter, which is where we are now. And the last verse mentions Samhain itself. There was an old Irish language phrase, Samhain go bealtaine, which means if you survived from Samhain to Bealtaine, you probably would have another year. So this is the parted years for my mother, Nora Kelly of Kilreelig. If you shouldn't come at autumn time, and the yellow leaves do fall, and the forest frost glisten on the hills right round, oh, I will hear you call. Or if you should come at winter time, when snow's a novel of sound, and the wind it kisses the stable of love, I will feel your presence all around. And I will hold you hand and warm through all the parted years, the richer line between us shall drink our loving tears. And if you should come in a newborn spring, on the wings of the swallow or the swift, and you circle again through an April bow, your voice wrapped in song was a gift. Or if you should come in summertime, through the buttercups of May, when the fledglings flutter in starter's line, we'll walk through the bowed hens of hay. And I will hold your hand and walk through all the parted years, and the rich earth lying between us shall drink our loving tears. We'll turn and we'll walk through the long lost years, our silence above an embrace, and we'll banish to Hades all sorrow and all care, from Samhain to Bealtaine in his grace. We will cherish a sweet, sweet communion unshared, the Kimberley softened in tea. The cigarette smoke o'er the unturned cards, and the snatches of songs and tune. And I will hold you hand and walk through all the parted years, and the rich earth lying between us shall drink our tender tears. Oh, I will hold your hand and I'll walk through all the parted years, and the rich earth lying between us shall overflow with tears. Thank you.
Oh, lovely, Tim. Lovely. Thank you very much. Lovely, Tim. Absolutely lovely song. Yes, I've heard you sing it plenty of times, but it never fails. It's lovely. Tender. Margaret Steiner, Marge, would you like to sing us a song? I messaged you. You may or may not have got it. Marge? Marge Steiner?
Hang on.
Yeah, you're unmuted now.
Okay, good. My computer's being really wonky. So, but I'm here. And Josie did a lovely job of Sweet William's Ghost. I was going to sing that, but I will do Molly Bawn instead. And by the way, if you've ever heard Thomas McCarthy sings Sweet William's Ghost, very, very highly ornamented, and I couldn't possibly do it. But anyway.
Can I say to you, Marge,
yes.
You're not the only one who was about to sing it. I know somebody else who was about to sing that song, but Josie got in there first.
She did. And Patty Tunney sang it as well back in the day.
Yes.
So, and it's a gorgeous song, but okay, I'll sing Molly Bawn. And this comes from the singing of Packy Byrne, whom I actually did get to meet in London back in 1976. So, oops, I got to get my. I have to sort of. All right, here I go. Come all you young fellows that handle a gun, beware of night rambling by setting of sun, and beware of an accident that happened of late to young Molly Bawn, and sad was her fate. She was going to her uncle's when a shower came on. She went under a green bush, the shower to shone. With her white apron round her, he took her for a swan, but a hush and a sigh, it was his own Molly Bawn. He ran home to his father, with his gun in his hand, saying, "Father, dear father, I have shot Molly Bawn. I have shot that fair Góilín. I have taken the life of the one I intended to take as my wife." She was going to her uncle's when a shower came on. She went under a green bush, the shower for to shun. With her white apron round her, he took her for a swan. "Oh, Father, will I be forgiven for the loss of that swan?" "Oh, Johnny, my Johnny, do not run away. Do not leave your own country till your trial day. Do not leave your own country till your trial comes on, for you'll never be convicted for the loss of a swan." The night before Molly's funeral, her ghost did appear, saying, "Mother, dear mother, young Johnny is clear. I was going to my uncle's when a shower came on. I went under a green bush, the shower to shun. With my white apron round me, he took me for a swan. Won't you tell him he's forgiven by his own Molly Bawn? All the girls of this country are all very glad that the pride of Glenalla, Molly Bawn, is now dead. And the girls of this country, put them all in a row, Molly Bawn would shine among them like a mountain of snow. And there you go.
Lovely, Marge. Thank you very much. Lovely. Lovely song. Doug Huggins, how are things in Colorado?
Thank you, thank you. You've unmuted me already.
We're getting to be a very slick outfit around here, Doug.
It's working. It's working. This is an old one. It's known as the Loathly Lady Ballad. It's a child and road and all the rest of those. Goes back, some say the story goes back to the 6th century. Whether it's a poem or a song back then, I don't know. But it's called King Henry in more recent times. Now I've lost my tune. The Let never a man a wooing when that lacketh thing is three, a store of gold, an open heart, and full of charity. And this was seen of King Henry, though he lay quite alone, for he's taken him to a haunted hall 7 miles from the town. He's chased the deer now him before, and the doe down by the den, till the fattest buck in all the flock King Henry he has slain. His huntsman followed him to the hall to make them burly cheer, when loud the wind was heard to sound, and an earthquake rocked the floor, and darkness covered all the hall as they sat at their meat. The grey dogs yowling left their food and crept to Henry's feet, and louder howled the rising wind and burst the fastened door, and in there came a grisly ghost stamping on the floor. Her head hit the roof tree of the house, her middle you could not span. Each frightened huntsman fled the hall and left the king alone. Her teeth were like the tether stakes, her nose like club or mell, and nothing less she seemed to be than a fiend that come from hell. Some meat, you King Henry, some meat you'll give to me. Go kill your horse, you King Henry, and bring him here to me. He's gone and slain his berry brown steed, though it made his heart full sore, for she's eaten it up, both flesh and bone, left nothing but hide and hair. More meat, you King Henry, more meat you give to me. Go kill your greyhounds, King Henry, and bring them here to me. And when he's slain his good greyhounds, and it made his heart full sore, for she's eaten them up, both flesh and bone, left nothing but hide and hair. More meat, you King Henry, more meat you give to me. Go fell your goshawks, King Henry, and bring them here to me. And when he's slain his gay goshawks, it made his heart full sore, for she's eaten them up, both skin and bone, left nothing but feathers bare. Some drink, now King Henry, some drink you bring to me. Oh, go sew up your horse's hide and bring in a drink to me. And he's sewn up the bloody hide and a pipe of wine put in, and she drank it up all in one draught, left never a drop therein. A bed now, King Henry, a bed you'll make for me. Oh, you must pull the heather green and make it soft for me, and pulled as he the heather green and made for her a bed, and taken as he his gay mantle and over it he has spread. Take off your clothes now, King Henry, and lie down by my side. Now swear, you King Henry, to take me for your bride. Oh, God forbid, said King Henry, that ever the like betide, that ever a fiend that comes from hell would stretch down by my side. When the night was gone and the day was come and the sun shone through the hall, the fairest lady that e'er was seen lay between him and the wall. I've met with many a gentle knight that gave me such a fill, but never before with a courteous knight that gave me all my will.
Brilliant. We're certainly getting our share of big ballads tonight. Well done, Doug. So, Mara Nicronine, will you unmute yourself and sing a song, seeing as how it's nice for me to be putting you on the spot for a change.
I don't be putting you on the spot, Jerry.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, so as you mentioned earlier, I had my sights on Lady Margaret, but we're going to have to leave Lady Margaret and give one of the other ones. So. A wealthy squire lived in our town, and he was a man of high renown. He had one daughter, a beauty bright, and the name he gave her was his heart's delight. Now many young men for to court her came, but none of them could her favour gain, till there came a lad of old green, and above them all she did fancy. But when her parents they came to know that their daughter loved this young man so, for 50 miles they sent her away, for to deprive them of their wedding day. One night as she lay in her bedroom, her true love appeared from out of the gloom. He kissed her hand and to her did say, "Arise, my darling, and come away." With her true love she got on behind, and they rode swifter than any wine. They rode all along for an hour or more, till he said, "My darling, my head is sore." A holland handkerchief she then took out, and with it she wrapped his aching head about. She kissed his lips and to him did say, "My love, you are colder than any clay." They rode till they came to her father's gate. Get down, my love, it's getting late. Get down, and get into bed. I'll see your horses both groomed and fed. And when she came to her father's hall, "Who's there, her own father did call. "'Tis I, dearest father, did you send for me by such a messenger?" And naming he, "Oh no, dear daughter, that cannot be. Your words are false and you lie to me, for on yon far mountain your true love died, and in yon green valley his body lies." Then the truth it did dawn on that maiden brave, and with her friends she exposed the grave, where lay her true love full 9 months dead, with a holland handkerchief around his head. So woe to all parents, as I say still, that deprives true lovers of their own free will, for once their promises and vows they give, they cannot take them back while yet they live.
Lovely, Mara. Lovely. You know it's one of my favourite songs.
I didn't. There you go.
Lovely. Great. Thank you. Tom Finn.
Anseo.
Oh, Shasuus mar sin is Casoran.
Okay. I'm going to sing a Dominic Bean song called The Sodding. And this one starts out a little bit ghostly and creepy in the first verse before the normal service of an Irish funeral takes over when they get to the pub and the drink sets in. Were you ever above at the Glasnevin Bend when the wind cut your face and the rain wouldn't end and the corpses stood up and they gave 3 hurrahs for they thought you were coming to join them at last? Well, I'll tell you no lie, though that cemetery sleeps, it always be Jesus fills me with the creeps. Especially when up to a sodding I roam, and a voice somewhere whispers, you're not going home. Then some clergyman kicks up a bloody loud din, when he gets them all singing some mournful owl hymn, and the silence is shook when he throws a few clods of turf on the top of the boxed-in poor sod. Then it's out with the hankies and drying of eyes. I loved 'em, adored 'em, all bloody lies. They think they're not quick enough be from the joint to get to the Brian Barrow bar for a pint. With their small ones and large ones, the greedy old things, some hypocrite says, now he'd like us to sing. A man of the world, sure he'd think nothing wrong if we cheered ourselves up with the bar of a song. Then the widow she manfully tails off her cant. I'm sure that it's what Johnny would want. And although she controls every muscle the bitch, her feet below table are starting to twitch. Well, talk about mourners beginning to sing. Before long they're prancing and dancing the fling. There's a rush to the counter with fivers and pounds, and Johnny, as usual's out of the round. Then some drunk round the widow he places an arm, a-trying to console her and meaning no harm, when some narky relation made brave on the stout, into the street he invites the man out. Well, the widow she screams to get in on the act. For God's sake, for Johnny's sake, hold them two back. If the poor man could see the disgrace to his name, the poor man be Jesus, sure he'd die of the shame. If you're thinking of dying, now take my advice. If you're thinking of dying in Dublin, think twice. Hang on till this crowd gets their call to appear, unless you want them to make you the joke of the year. Shouldn't will.
Good man, Tom. Lovely. So, Corin.
Okay. I got various things on my screen.
How are things in your part of the world, Corin? Are you locked down or anything like that there?
Well, we're tier 2 at the moment, but we're being torn apart as it is.
Okay.
My daughter is locked down thoroughly in Swansea, and it's her birthday tomorrow, and she should have been coming up here to spend it with me, but there you are.
It's been happening to all of us, Corin, the same. We haven't seen Annette now since the summer, you know. We're not going to see her, possibly not even for Christmas.
I'm pretty much resigned to spending Christmas on my own in my new house, but there you are. We'll live. So I'm not. I don't have any songs with ghosts in apart from the ones that I know everyone else will be singing. So I'll sing a true story instead. And I thought to myself, which one or two? But I shall sing this because we're singing for others, and I'm singing this for my parents as well because it's from the area that they used to spend their youth in, and I remember from my very young days when they were first married. It was Hanky the squire, as I've heard men say. He rode out a-hunting on one Saturday. They hunted all over, but nothing they found, but a poor murdered woman laid on on the cold ground. At about 8 o'clock, our dogs they laid on, and Leatherhead Common, that was the spot. They tried all the bushes, but nothing they found but a poor murdered woman laid on the cold ground. So they called off the dogs, they kept 'em away, for I do think it proper she should have fair play. They've tried all those bushes, 'twas nothing they found but a poor murdered woman laid on the cold ground. So they mounted their horses, and they rode off that ground. They rode to some village and alarmed it all around. Well, it's late in the evening, I am sorry for to say, that she cannot be removed until the next day. So the next Sunday morning, at about 8 o'clock, some hundreds of people to that spot they did flock, for to see this poor creature your hearts would have bled. Such cold thoughts of murder come into their heads. So she was took off the common and brought to some men. And the man that has kept it, well, his name is John Sims. The coroner was sent for, and the jury they did find, and it soon they've concluded and settled their minds. And so a coffin was brought, and in it she was put, and took to that churchyard that's in Leatherhead. No father, no mother, no friend, I'm told, came to see this poor creature laid under the mould. And so it's now I'll conclude, I will finish my song, and those that have done this, they will find themselves wrong. On the last day of judgment, when the trumpet it shall sound, then their souls not in heaven, I'm afraid, won't be found. Poor murdered woman.
Lovely, Colin. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely. Well sung. Frank Callery. Would you unmute yourself, Frank, and sing us a song, please? Thank you.
Can you hear me, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to sing a song called A Carol for Winter. It's a little song I wrote, and because I'm singing it because there's a line in it about the blue moon, which is happening around now. So this is A Carol for Winter. Did you see today the winter gather round us, a season to confound us? Oh, did you see today. And did you see the black iron fill the trough, the icicles alow, the snow so deep and soft? Oh, did you see today? Did you see the sun come cracking through the black ice, release us from its cold vice? Oh, did you see today? And did you see the horses stoop and stand, the ditch without its trunk, the wind that quenched the land? Oh, did you see today? And did you see today the lamb whose fleece was reddened, the ewe whose bleat was deadened? Oh, did you see today? And did you see the fox upon the hill, still feeding at its kill, beneath a moon of blue? And did it call to you? Before the set of sun, I saw the fog enfolding, the distance it was holding behind its mask of gray. And did you see the frost upon the wire, the sparkle of the fire that warmed the heart's desire? That's what I saw today. That's it.
Frank, you have some excellent songs. Really lovely, lovely, lovely. Gina and Bill, would you like to give us something? I think you're going to give us a duet of some sort. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, there we go. Now we're unmuted.
You can tell what the song is.
Okay. This is a Samhain-appropriate song. It's a New England version of a child ballad called The Two Brothers. We learned it about 50 years ago from Joe Hickerson, who was the head of the folklore department at the Library of Congress. Oh, will you go to the rolling of the stone, or the tossing of the ball? Or will you go and see pretty Susie and dance among them all? Will not go to the rolling of the stone, or the tossing of the ball, but I will go and see pretty Susie and dance among them all. They had not danced but a single dance, more than once or twice around, before the sword at his brother's side gave him his fatal wound. They picked him up and carried him away, for he was sore distressed. They carried him and buried him all in the greenwood, where he was wont to rest. Little Susie, she came walking by, with a tablet under her arm. She came and she came to her true lover's side, then she began to charm. She charmed the fish out of the sea, the birds out of their nests. She charmed her true lover out of his grave, so he could no longer rest. Oh, will you go to the rolling of the stone, or the tossing of the ball? Or will you go and see pretty Susie and dance among them all? I will not go to the rolling of the stone, or the tossing of the ball, but I will go and see pretty Susie and dance among them all.
Lovely, Jean and Bill. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you and lovely to hear you even better. Lovely. Thank you. Excellent.
Be back.
Andrew Pascal, would you unmute yourself and oblige us with a short ditty or even a long one, maybe? Andrew?
Yeah.
You're there now. We got you.
Did you have True Lover John yet?
No.
It happened for to be on a cold and winter's evening, a fair maid sat waiting all alone. She was thinking of her father, likewise her aged mother, and also her true lover John. Young Johnny, he was sweet, and he promised her to meet, but he tarried an hour too long. He met with great delay, which caused him for to stray, and her weary waiting all alone. Young Johnny came at last, and he found the door so fast, and he slowly, slowly rattled at the pane. This fair maid she arose, and hurried on her clothes in haste, for to let young Johnny in. All around the waist he caught her, and off to bed she brought her, and they lay there talking of their plans. I wish this maid, said she, this night would prove to be as long since the world first began. Fly up, oh fly up, my pretty little cock, and don't crow until it breaks day, and your cage it shall be made of the very shining gold, and your wings of the silvery grey. But this pretty little cock, so cruel as he was, did crow a full hour too soon, and sent her love away before the break of day, it been only the light of the moon. This fair maid she arose, and quickly follow after, when will you come to see me? When the fishes they do fly, the seas they all run dry, and sun and moon will rise on yonder lea. It was once I thought my love was as constant unto me as the stones they are true unto the ground. But since that I do find he has altered in his mind, I would rather be single than be bound.
Well done, Andrew. Lovely. Joe Holmes will never be gone while you're around. That's lovely. Brilliant stuff. Love it. So, Peter Webb, would you like to sing us a song, please?
We'll sing one together if we can.
I need to unmute us.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Oh, we can hear you very clearly, and it,
All right.
it seems like it's going to be a night for duets. Is this what's happening?
I think it's going to be a duet. That's right. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. I think so. Yeah. She's the boss.
Just as well, you know, Ken.
I am stretched on your grave and must lie there forever. If your hands were in mine, I'd be sure we'd not sever. My apple tree, my brightness, it's time we were together. For I smell of the earth and am worn by the weather. When my family think I am safe in my bed, from night until morning I am stretched at your head, calling out to the air with tears hot and wild, my grief for the girl that I loved as a child. Do you remember the night we were lost in the shade of the blackthorn and the chill of the frost? Oh, thanks be to Jesus, we did what was right, and your maiden head still is your pillar of light. The priests and the friars approach me in dread, because I still love you, my life and your death. I still would be your shelter through rain and through storm, and with you in your cold grave I cannot sleep warm. I am stretched on your grave, I must lie there forever. If your hands were in mine, I'd be sure we'd not sever. My apple tree, my brightness, it's time we were together. For I smell of the earth and am worn by the weather.
Great job. Oh, lovely job. Lovely, lovely Ken, lovely Peter, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Malachy O'Reilly in Adelaide, would you like to unmute yourself, Malachy, and give us a song?
We're doing something bad. How are we? Are we on?
It's probably about 5 o'clock in the morning or something there, Malachy, is it?
No, not quite, Jerry. Thank the Lord for sense and sensibility. We've both turned our clocks different ways in the last couple of weeks. So it's a very civilized hour in the morning over here.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. I was going to do the Ballad of Father Gilligan, but I couldn't find a tune to fit it. So I sang the Tunnel Tigers a couple of weeks ago, and Ian Russell, who doesn't appear to be here this morning, mentioned that one of his friends, Tony Mann, worked on the Victoria line for the London Underground. So I thought I'd sing a song suitable, building up and tearing England down. There's a couple of dead men in this song. I don't know whether they morphed into ghosts or not. Haven't seen them, but sure, we'll take it as it is. Because I've won the hero's name with McAlpine and Costain, Fitzpatrick, Murphy, Ash and Wimpy's gang. I've been off and on the road, on my way to draw the dole, when there's nothing left to do for Sir John Lang. And I used to think that God made the mixer pick and hod, so that Paddy might know hell above the ground. I've had gangers big and tough tell me tear it all out rough when you're building up and tearing England down. Now in a tunnel underground, the young Limerick man was found. He was built into the new Victoria line. When the bonus gang had passed, sticking from the concrete cast, was the face of smiling Charlie Joe Devine. And the ganger man McGurk said Big Paddy hates the work, and the gas main blew and he blew off the ground. But they swore, he said, don't slack, I'll not be there until I'm back. Keep on building up and tearing England down. Now I was on the shuttering dam on the day that Jack McCann got the better of the stammer in a week. He fell from the shuttering dam, and the poor old stuttering man, he was never ever more inclined to speak. And I saw the balls McCall from the big flyover fall into a concrete mixer spinning round. Though it wasn't his intent, he got a fine head of cement when he was building up and tearing England down. Now I remember Carrier Jack with his heart upon his back, how he swore one day he'd set the world on fire. But his face we haven't seen since his shovel it cut clean through the middle of a big high tension wire. And no more like Robin Hood will he roam round Cricklewood or dance around the pubs in Camden Town. But let no man proclaim, sure no Pat can die in vain when he's building up and tearing England down. So come all you navvies bold, do not think that British gold is just waiting to be taken from the sod. For the likes of you and me, we'll never get an OBE or a knighthood for good service to the hod. But a concrete master race, well, they'll keep you in your place with a ganger man to kick you to the ground. If you ever try to take part of what the bosses make when you're building up and tearing England down. Keep on building up and tearing England down. Thanks, guys.
Come on, Malachy. Dominic Behan, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Bernie Dermody, would you like to
Yeah.
sing a song, please? Thank you. How are you getting on, Bernie? Okay.
Great, Jerry. No problem.
Good, good.
Great, Jerry. I'm going to, it's Ewan McCall's, what's it, 31st anniversary was last week. So I'm going to do My Old Man. My old man was a good old man, skilled in the moulding trade. In the stinking heat of the iron foundry, my old man was made. Down on his knees in the moulding sand, he wore his trade like a company brand. He was one of the Cyclops Smoky Band, yes, that was my old man. My old man wasn't really old, it was just that I was young. And anybody over 12 years old was halfway to the tomb. He was loyal to his workmates all his life, gave his pay packet to his wife, had a few jars on a Saturday night, yes, that was my old man. My old man was a union man, fought hard all his days. He understood the system and was wise to the boss's ways. He said, if you want what's yours by right, you'll have to struggle with all your might. They'll rob you blind if you don't fight, son. That was my old man. My old man was a proud old man, at home on the foundry floor, until the day they paid him off and showed him to the door. They said, if you want what's yours by right, you'll have to struggle with all your might. They'll rob you blind if you don't fight, son. That was my old man. My old man, he was 51. What was he to do? A craftsman moulder on the dole in 1932. He felt he'd given all he could give, so he did what thousands of others did, abandoned hope and the will to live. They killed him, my old man. And my old man, he is dead and gone. Now I am your old man. And my advice to you, my son, is to fight back while you can. Beware of the man with the silicone chip. Hold on to your job with a good firm grip. 'Cause if you don't, you'll have had your chips the same as my old man.
Well done, Bernie. Lovely. Well done. Oh, Jim McFarland, you asked to unmute yourself, Jim. And just to mention that after Jim sings, we have a little bit of a treat we hope to set up. We're in the process of setting it up at the moment. And it'll be, so I had asked Pam Reinigal to sing immediately after Jim. So Pam just holds fire after Jim sings, and then we'll have that, and then Pam will be after that. How are you getting on, Jim? How are you in Derry?
Struggling.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's for sure.
Anyway.
Are you locked down? Or are you staying at home?
God, yeah. We were hit really bad there a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God, it's come around a bit now, you know.
Ah, good.
So
good, great. Anyway, lovely to see you. We'd love to hear you, Jim.
Hitting Ken stole the song I was going to sing, but looking at Pat Burke's photograph behind him, I do runner down. One evening as I arrived 2 miles below Pomeroy, I met a farmer's daughter all upon the mountains high. I says, my pretty fair maid, your beauty shines most clear, and upon these lonely mountains I am glad to meet you here. She says, young man, be civil, my company forsake, for to my great opinion, I fear you are awake. And if my parents, they should know my life, they would destroy, for the keeping of your company all upon the mountains high. I says, my love, I am no rake, but known full well to fame, and looking for concealment all upon the judge's name. Your beauty has ensnared me, I cannot pass you by, and with my gun I'll guard you all upon the mountains high. This pretty little young thing, she fell into a maze, with her eyes as bright as amber, on me did fondly gaze. Her cherry cheeks, her ruby lips, they lost their former dye, and then she came into my arms, all upon the mountains high. I had not kissed her once or twice, till she came to me again. Then modestly she asked of me, "Pray, sir, what is your name? If you go to yonder forest, my castle you will find, and written ancient history, my name it is Renardine." Then by night she followed him, and his teeth did brightly shine, and he laid her in his castle, did the sly bold Renardine. Renardine.
Look at Jim. Well done, Jim. Thank you. So, Mara Nicronin. Mara?
Yep.
Yeah, can we do the screen share then? Will that work, do you think?
What we're going to do is basically, it's because it hasn't come on the computer, it came on WhatsApp. So if we get Fergus on, that should...
Okay, let's do that.
Fergus, do you want to unmute yourself there?
Okay, I'm unmuted now, I think.
Okay, so if you...
Fergus? Or...
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here.
Okay, can you hear me, Marta?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can hear you good out. Give me a
Right.
second. I'm gonna, because I believe you have. There we go. Okay. Won't let me. It won't let me. Oh, there we go. I can pin you. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and play that, then and hopefully that'll work.
But do you want to introduce what it is?
So why don't you introduce it, Fergus?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. A great stalwart of Góilín who, for health reasons, hasn't been able to attend Góilín for quite a time, sent me this recording of himself singing a Halloween sound ballad, an English sound ballad called Soul Cake, Soul Cake. And we're just going to try and in his honor, we'll try and play it. Okay, it's from Barry Gleason.
A soul cake. A soul cake. Please give Mrs. a soul cake, an apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry, or any good thing to make us merry. One for Peter, two for Paul, three for him that made us all. God bless the master of this house, and the mistress also, and all the little children that round your table grow. Likewise your men and maidens, your cattle and your store, and all that dwell within your gates, we wish you 10 times more. A soul cake. Please give me missus a soul cake, an apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry, or any good thing to make us merry. One for Peter, two for Paul, three for him that made us all. The lanes are very dirty and me shoes are very thin. I've got a little pocket I could put a penny in. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, God bless you. A soul cake. Please give Mrs. a soul cake, an apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry, or any good thing to make us merry. One for Peter, two for Paul, three for him that made us all.
How did that work?
Thanks very much, Fergus. That's brilliant. It's lovely to hear from you again.
Okay.
Great quality
Thank
too.
you. Brilliant. Okay, so we move on to the next person. And thank you for waiting. Pam, can you unmute yourself, Pam, please? Pam Reinigal, can you unmute yourself?
There, okay.
Yeah, yes, you're there now. Lovely, thank you.
Okay, good. Is this volume okay?
That volume is perfect.
Perfect, okay. I tried to think of a ghostish song that no one else was likely to do. So here's one. Shallow was the grave at which he knelt. Shallow was the grave at which he knelt. Shallow was the grave, deep the wound it gave. Shallow was the grave at which he knelt. In the shadow of the mountain down he lay. In the shadow of the mountain down he lay. In the shadow of the mountain, not a stone's throw from the fountain. In the shadow of the mountain down he lay. Upon the frozen earth asleep he fell. Upon the frozen earth asleep he fell. Upon the frozen earth, dreaming of rebirth. Upon the frozen earth asleep he fell. O'er his peaceful face the snow did fall. O'er his peaceful face the snow did fall. O'er his peaceful face, softly, full of grace. O'er his peaceful face the snow did fall. And there it was they found him in the spring. There it was they found him in the spring. There it was they found him, townsfolk gathered round him. There it was they found him in the spring. Jenny?
Thank you very much, Pam. Lovely. So, Mick Fowler, would you like to unmute yourself, Mick, and sing us a song? Mick?
Yeah.
Oh, you're there. Lovely.
Hi. I suppose something appropriate. There's a mention of Halloween in it anyway. And you can all join in the chorus of the second one. It's two Belfast children's songs. I got them from David Hammond. My Aunt Jane, she took me in, she gave me tea at her waiting, half a pop and a wee snow top, 3 black lumps at her wee shop, half a pop and a wee snow top, 3 black lumps at her wee shop. My Aunt Jane, she's awful smart, she bakes me rings and an apple tart, and when Halloween comes round, finesse the tart I'm always found. And when Halloween comes round, finesse the tart I'm always found. My Aunt Jane has a bell on the door, a white stone step and a clean swept floor. Candy apples are green pears, conversation lozenges. Candy apples are green pears, conversation lozenges. My Aunt Jane, she took me in, she gave me tea at her waiting, half a pop and a wee snow top, 3 black lumps at her wee shop, half a pop and a wee snow top, 3 black lumps at her wee shop. Fair Rosa was a lovely child, a lovely child, a lovely child. Fair Rosa was a lovely child a long time ago. And the wicked fairy cast a spell, cast a spell, cast a spell. Oh, the wicked fairy cast a spell a long time ago. And fair Rosa slept for 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. Fair Rosa slept for 100 years, a long time ago. And the bushes, they all grew around, grew around, grew around. All the bushes, they all grew around a long time ago. And the handsome prince came riding by, riding by, riding by. Oh, the handsome prince came riding by a long time ago. And he cut the bushes one by one, one by one, one by one. And he cut the bushes one by one a long time ago. And he kissed fair Rosa's lily white hand, lily white hand, lily white hand. Oh, he kissed fair Rosa's lily white hand a long time ago. Fair Rosa will not sleep no more, sleep no more, sleep no more. Fair Rosa will not sleep no more, a long time ago.
Oh, that's lovely, Mick. I forgot about those. Thanks very much. Brilliant. Brilliant. Paul Tobin, down in County Wexford. Paul.
How are you, Jerry?
How are you getting on?
Not too bad.
Deirdre? All right.
Hi, Jerry. How are you?
Now, I haven't aired a ghost, Jerry. Not a ghost or a
there's no ghosts in Wexford. You're all very much alive down there.
That's right, Chad. Yeah, the ghost of a fella's love for a woman, maybe. That's about all. Yeah, it's a song from the Oíche.
Lovely.
The basin of a fashala de dosh mahel gan voidev gan varig kash machen glasur na grel so na chone gan aner yal farsant da huert vintev Perkswalkes magna madden Simeon way. Bí perlan húl chrefi, mar rawis ma hawhar naif. A dug ma krigian, agus tanif ga braid galvan. She vede germasna, agus churmelem relefan. Nor ysgarys ma gochur, le hanner na bwig o can. A choman na goman nach armsa vian mia. Is den donnes na leke medium gebra. Corle malassa near glacus in na dra. Shemalean is my yakker, mar jangel berry of Lepart. Nach Sujach mar noeve shulnam wile shahir. O charig an aller gahim lakamani. Es mwynaf se machnaf gahanum pianan rian anir. Gille na gille machalin das mama und lieb. Caravuna ma hitem se tabish dis layed machal. Fech dir mud lech klishte am farkul de vein de bar. Dranje fwe yasse gavoire kachar per lor. Nor a rasker an torke se teliger vain holbein. An e shoheim klite shayimis spras ganard. Mahlan e gach vrinul jas villish gadug me part. Dig tarnia an glinne, beweirigs mem hi e kjaun klar. Skanol hing, gav aslainte gefailtach, skadeshis lang.
Good man, Paul. Thank you very much. Good meeting, Mahagud. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Mick Keeley for a while, and Mick is going to step into the chair and do some calling. Mick, can you unmute yourself and can we spotlight Mick, please?
All right, Jerry.
Ah, yeah, there you go. Lovely.
Thank you. Okay, we get straight into it, and we start off, please, with Rebecca Sweeney. Could you unmute yourself, please, Rebecca?
Is that unmuted? Can you
hear
me?
Very good. Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to click up a picture to put behind me. Give me 1 sec. This is my great-grandmother from Ireland, and her name's Ellen McCarthy. She was 4'10". And can I find her? I can't find her. Anyway, oh, there she is. Yeah. So that's my great grandmother, and so I'm singing to the spirit of her. It's a song about her traveling to Australia. She arrived in Australia in 1886. And it was because she was in Cork, she was put into Cork jail overnight for one night because she had a baby out of wedlock. And we don't know any more about that. It was just a record in a prison records book. This is a song I wrote. Ellen sorry. Ellen McCarthy, black-haired Irish, registered eyes, colour blue. Occupation listed as none, small body struggle she knew. Truth unfolds over time, it's as if there's a channeling spirit near. St. Luke's home for wayward girls offered the bottom rung. November 26, 1886, Ellen spent the night in Cork jail. Frozen from fear, blood soaked her underskirts. Grief took a long time to heal. Truth unfolds over time. It's as if there's a channeling spirit near. St. Luke's home for wayward girls offered the bottom rung. All those unspoken words of sadness wept into the stone-cold floor, having the baby taken away, her loss forevermore. Truth unfolds over time, it's as if there's a channeling spirit near. St. Luke's home for wayward girls offered the bottom rung. When laws for protection act more like a punishment, bullies who enforce will prevail. Ellen and her sister fled to Australia, home to Clon never did sail. Truth unfolds over time, it's as if there's a channeling spirit near. St. Luke's home for wayward girls offered the bottom rung. Sinead.
Are you there? You there, Julian?
Yeah, oh, I am. Yeah, sorry.
Very good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to sing a song, one of Nora Cleary from near Milltown, Malbay.
Lovely.
And I had the privilege of meeting her back in Nora back in the 1980s, long time ago. Young lads and fair maidens, I pray you draw near, for these short feeling verses you're now going to hear. It's about charming Bessie of Ballintown and the laird of the moorland who led her astray. One night as this young laird lay down for a sleep, young Bessie appeared to him and o'er him did weep, saying, "You are the young man who caused me to stray far, far from my home in sweet Ballintown Bray." He rose from his slumbers and saddled his steed. O'er hills and through valleys he rode at great speed, till he came to a cottage by the first break of day. It was Betty's own cottage in Ballintown Bray. Bessie's dear father stood outside his gate, with a look quite forlorn, bewailing his fate. The young man approached him to afford him relief and prayed to tell him the cause of his grief. I had only one daughter, the old man did say, and now she lies cold in sweet Ballantown all by a young man who caused her to stray far, far from her home in sweet Ballantown. The young laird from his saddle a bright sword he drew, and with his sharp weapon he pierced his heart through. And as he lay dying, these words he did say, lay me down by her side in sweet Ballantown Bray.
Thanks, Julian. Okay, we move on to Claudia Anderson. Are you there, Claudia? Could you unmute yourself, please?
Whoop. Am I good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Signs appearing on my screen. Had to take my cough drop out. I was like, oh. All right. This has got witches and Halloween and fairies and spells in it. Alison Cross lives in yon tower, the ugliest witch in the north country. She's trysted me all day to her bower, and many's the braw speech she gae to me. She's shown me a mantle of red scarlet, well wrought with gold and fringes fine. Says, gin you'll be my leman, say true, this goodly gift, it shall be thine. Awa, awa, ye ugly witch, howd far awa, and let me be, afore I'll kiss your ugly moo. I'd rather twine around the tree. She's shown me a shirt of the finest silk, well wrought with pearls aboon the band. Says, gin you'll be my leman, say true, this goodly gift's at your command. She's shown me a cup of the finest gold, well wrought with jewels, say fair and fine. Says, gin you'll be my leman, say true, this goodly gift, it shall be thine. Awa, awa, ye ugly witch, howd far awa, and let me be, afore I'll kiss your ugly moo. I'd rather twine around the tree. Then she's ta'en out her silvery wand, she striked it 3 times o'er her knee. She's muttered such words as my senses failed, I fell down senseless to the ground. She's turned me into an ugly worm, made me twine around the tree, and I on every Saturday night, Alison Cross, she comes to me. Awa, awa, ye ugly witch, out far awa, and let me be, afore I'll kiss your ugly moo. I'd rather twine around the tree. It fell upon last Halloween when the Sealy court was riding by. The Queen sat down on a gowany bank not far from the tree where I did lie. She's ta'en me into her milky white hand. She's pricked me 3 times o'er the knee. She's turned me back to my proper shape, nay, more to twine around the tree. Hawa, hawa, ye ugly witch, out far awa, and let me be. Afore I'll kiss your ugly moo, I'd rather twine around the tree.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Thanks, Lee. That was lovely. Okay, we move on to John Faulkner. Are you there, John?
Yeah, I'm here.
Lovely. Go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, just before I start, I might just say that some of you there, particularly people in Ireland, will have known Liz McGardle or Liz King, Liz and Jim McGardle. And Liz passed away today, unfortunately. Big loss to us up here.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Sean. Liz and Jim, I met them, it's 50 years ago, Sean, at least, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, so sad.
And with Kieran Halpin passing away a couple of weeks ago, both himself and Liz from Cullen, big loss was up here. So you might remember Liz and Kieran. Anyway, I'll sing a song. There was a woman, she lived all alone, and she had babies 3. She sent them away to the North Country, all for to learn their grammary. They had not been gone a long time, scarcely 6 weeks to the day, when a cruel death spread all over the land and took her babies away. She prayed to the Lord in heaven above, wearing a starry crown, that her 3 sons would return again at night or in the morning soon, saying, I wish that the wind it would no more blow, nor the fish swim in the sea, till my 3 sons return again in earthly flesh and blood. It came about at the Martinmas time, when the nights were cold and dark, that her 3 sons they returned again, and their hats were off the burk. It neither grew on dyke nor ditch, nor yet in any shock, but at the gates of paradise that bird grew well enough. O maidens fair, blow up those fires, throw water from the well, and all our house it will feast tonight, for my 3 sons are well, for my 3 sons are well. Oh, mother dear, we can't eat your bread, neither can we drink your wine, for tomorrow morning at the dawn of day, our Saviour must we join. For the green, green grass grows all over our head, and the cold clay's at our feet, and how your tears keep tumbling down, and wet our winding sheet, and wet our winding sheet. The cocky had not crowed but once, to welcome in the day, when the oldest to the youngest said, brother, we must away, brother, we must away. For the cock does crow, and the day does grow, and the chattering worm does chide, and if we are missed out of our place, then a sore pain we must bide, a sore pain we must bide. So fare you well, our mother dear, farewell to barn and byre, and farewell to the bonny lass that kindles our mother's fire, that kindles our mother's fire.
Thank you very much, Sean. That was lovely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Next, please, could we have Jacqueline Grimes? Are you there, Jacqueline?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi.
How you doing?
Very strange. I was actually going to do the same song with a different melody that John just sang. So I think it's sufficiently different that I could actually try it. So that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll do it with this. There lived a wife at Usher's Well, and a wealthy wife was she. She had 3 stout and stalwart sons, and she sent them o'er the sea. Well, they had not been a month from her, not 1 month and a day, when call death came o'er the land, and he stole those boys away. And she said, I wish the wind would never more blow, nor fish swim in the flood, till my 3 boys come home to me, in earthly flesh and blood. Oh, in earthly flesh and blood. Well, it fell about the Martinmas time, when the nights were long and murk. The Carlin wives' 3 boys came home, but their hats were of the birch that neither grew in any wood, nor down by any wall, but at the gates of paradise. Oh, the birken tree grew tall. Well, she has laid the table well, with bread and blood red wine. Oh, come eat and drink, my bonny boys. Oh, come eat and drink, all mine. Oh, mother dear, we cannot eat, nor can we drink the wine. For call, death is Lord of all, and to him we must resign. For the green, green grass is at our heads, and the clay is at our feet, and how your tears come tumbling down, oh, to wet the winding sheet, oh, to wet the winding sheet. Well, she has made for them a bed, and she's made it soft and deep, and she's laid it all with cloth of gold, and she's lulled those boys to sleep. But the cocky hadn't crowed but once to welcome in the day, when the eldest to the youngest said, oh, brother, we must away. For the cock doth crow, and the day doth dawn, and the chunnering worm doth chide, and we must go from Usher's Well to the gates of paradise. For the green, green grass is at our heads, and the clay is at our feet, and how your tears come tumbling down, oh, to wet the winding sheet, oh, to wet the winding sheet. And she said, I wish the wind would never more blow, nor fish swim in the flood, till my 3 boys come home to me in earthly flesh and blood, oh, in earthly flesh and blood. There you go.
That was lovely, Jacqueline. Thank you very much.
That was lovely, Jacqueline. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I have an echo.
Maybe that's me.
Okay. Yeah, probably is. Frank Nugent.
How are you?
How are you, Frank?
Not bad. We're on the death team tonight, I think. Yeah. I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, passing through this world below. There's no sickness, no toil or danger in that sweet land to which I go. I'm going there to meet my father and all my good friends who've gone on. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know the way is dark and steep, but beauteous fields they rise before me when God's redeemed their beauty keep. I'm going there to meet my mother. She said she'll meet me when I come. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. Yeah.
Thank you, Frank. That was great.
Thank you.
Okay. Where are we got? Sorry, I'm after losing my place here. Hold on a sec. Yeah, Seamus Shields. Are you there, Seamus?
I'm not seeing his name on the list, Mick.
Is it? Oh, he
I'm
was there. He must be gone.
No, I'm
Sorry
here.
about that. Okay.
Definitely.
Barry O'Connor.
Mick, he's there. He's there, Seamus, and he's unmuted.
Okay.
Hi.
Sorry, Seamus, go ahead. Sorry for the mix-up.
No bother. So this is nearly in the spirit of the night that's in it. It's about spooks and the like. It's called The Boys of Bedlam. For to see Mad Tom o' Bedlam, 10,000 miles I travel, Mad Maudlin goes on dirty toes, for to save her shoes from gravel. Still I sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live by the air, and they want no drink nor money. I went down to Satan's kitchen for to get me food one morning, and there I got souls piping hot, all on the spit a-turning. Still I sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live by the air, and they want no drink nor money. Me staff has murdered giants, and me bag a long knife carries, for to cut mince pies from children's thighs, with which to feed the fairies. And still I sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live by the air, and they want no drink nor money. The spirits white as lightning would on me travels guide me. The moon would shake and the stars would quake whenever they espied me. And still I sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, oh, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live by the air, and they want no drink nor money. And when that I have murdered the man in the moon to a powder, his staff I'll break and his dog I'll shake, and they'll howl no demon louder. And still I sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, oh, Bedlam boys are bonny, For they all go bare and they live by the air, and they want no drink, no money. For to see Mad Tom a Bedlam, 10,000 miles I'd travel. Madam Maudlin goes on dirty toes, for to save her shoes from gravel. And still I sing, bonny boys, bonny mad boys, Bedlam boys are bonny. For they all go bare and they live by the air. For they all go bare and they live by the air. For they all go bare and they live by the air. And they want no drink, no money. Money.
Thank you,
That's
Seamus.
it, Nick.
Great stuff. Thank you very much. And next, could we have Mary O'Connor, please?
Okay. You called and I ran like the wind that blows across the moor. All we need is each other. Like the eagle we will soar. You are the call, I am the answer. You are the wish and I am the way. You the music, I the dancer. You are the night and I am the day. You are the night and I am the day. You and I are like two rivers, run and fall down to the sea. When we meet, we're lost forever, lost forever, you and me. You are the call, I am the answer, you are the wish, and I am the way. You the music, I the dancer. You are the night, and I am the day. You are the night, and I am the day. Lay your head upon my shoulder. Let your heart beat close to mine. With no past and no tomorrow, two hearts lost in space and time. You are the call, I am the answer. You are the wish and I am the way. You the music, I the dancer. You are the night and I am the day. You are the night and I am the day. That's it.
That was lovely, Mary. Thank you very much. Now, next, Pat Burke.
Hello.
How are you, Pat?
Do you like me, friends?
If there hadn't been a prize, you would have won it, but there isn't a prize, so.
Okay, all right. I was hoping to do the one I wrote, Bram's Gothic Lullaby, but I made a bags with the last time. So my friend here is going to help me out. He's going to bite me. Oh, you true-born sons of Irish blood, come listen to me verses, oh. They tell of a novelist, be named Bram Stoker, he was known. From the fine house in Clontarkin, he along the bay of Dublin, oh, where a Viking fleet did come to grief about 1,000 years ago. In 1897, the closing of the century, oh, Stoker to these pages pen concerning a great vampire, oh, near the Black Sea in ancient times, in the land of Transylvania, there dwelt a sky with a fearful bite, called Vlad the Impaler, oh. John Harker, a dashing British blade, he was missing his fiancée, oh. As aboard the Orient Express, he darted towards the Balkans, oh. For to entreat in a manner discreet, with Dracula in his castle, oh, concerning a plate of real estate for a property portfolio. Well, his train came to a Sutton Hall, bats, wild wolves, and demons, oh. Hang on, let me listen to this again. Oh, his train came to a Sutton Hall, as darkness it was falling, oh. And Dracula, he then appeared, mid bats, wild wolves, and demons, oh. Good evening, my good man, says Vlad, 'tis how you must be starving, oh. I've a nice steak on the table laid, I have mushrooms, but no garlic, oh. That night, while resting on his bed, unearthly sounds woke our hero. Spooky apparitions through old partitions floated in the darkness, oh. In female form they did appear, in a manner most un-Victorian, oh. Ladies of the night with teeth so bright, weren't they the brides of Dracula, oh? When their hero woke, he had a stroke, his face it was ashen, oh. Daylight had come, but he was undone, in right need of a transfusion, oh. For Dracula he was at rest, yet not within his castle, oh, but aboard a ship on a sailing trip, bound for the port of Whitby, oh. Through twilight fog old lads had float, in search of juicy victims, oh. Blue blood feministas and their sisters, for to sink his fangs into. Lady Lucy being such a one, Dracula sought her boudoir, oh. Once her neck he bled, she joined the dead, despite doctors' pills and potions, oh. Well, old Van Helsing from Amsterdam was sought by friends and family, oh. Lord Godalming, Dr. Seward, and Texan Quincy Morris, oh. Van Helsing led them to her tomb, and at dead of night they all did go, where an empty coffin, eerie screams, exposed vampiric horrors, oh. Well, the four lads, they held Lucy down, they burned her with their crosses, oh. Pierced her heart with a stake, the whole tomb quaked, sliced her head off with the cleaver, oh. Dracula, he was enraged, his latest prey had vanished, oh. While John Harker escaped his dungeon dark, and was reunited with his fiancée, oh. Then on the first train out to Bucharest, these vampire hunters then did go, while Vlad flew back to his grisly lair before the break of dawn, and oh, a fiendish sight awaited him in the style of a Hammer horror show, for the severed heads of his brides undead were spiked on the walls of his castle, oh. Dracula knew the die was cast as clouds began and lifted, oh. Dawn was near, Van Helsing appeared, waving wooden stake and crosses, oh. Holy water scalded him as he dashed for his coffin, oh. But he slipped and cursed and crumbled to dust as the sun rose in the morning, oh. That's the end of me gothic lullaby, inspired the old Bram Stoker, oh. Not forgetting the stars, the silver screen, who played Dracula in the movies, oh. Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney, Christopher Lee in his prime also. May bid ye all a sweet good night, sweet dreams till the morning, oh.
Come on, Pat.
Well done, Pat. Thanks very much. Great stuff. Okay, lads, I'm going to hand back to Jerry now. And I'd just like to thank Maura and Rosie for keeping me on the straight and narrow, looking after the buttons. And back to you, Jerry.
Great. Thanks very much, Mick. Great stuff, Pat. You got through it this time. No breakdown. Good. Great song. Right. So, Cathy Hopkirk, can you unmute yourself there, Cathy? And wait till you have a look at you. You should be free now, Cathy, yes?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Clear as a bell.
Grand. Okay. So four ballads I had planned all went out the window, but no matter. It's been a cracking night. Here's another Lady Margaret or Tam Lin, or a version of from Ted Palatilio from Fife, and Duncan Williamson, who said it's not Tam Lin, but please yourselves. Lady Margaret, she sat in her high chamber. I'll start that again. Lady Margaret, she sat in her high chamber. She was sewing a silken seam. She looked at east and she looked at west, but her the wood so green. So picking up her petticoats beneath her holland gown, it's when she came to the merry green woods, it was there she laid them down. For she had not put one knot, but barely three. When the highest lord in all the countryside came riding through those trees, he says, why do you put those knots? Why do you bend those trees? Why do you come to these merry green woods without the leave o' me? She says, once in time these woods were mine, without the leave o' thee, and I could put those knots, and I could bend those trees. So he's ta'en her gently by the hand, and gently laid her down, and when he had his will on, he raised her up again. That you've had your will of me, come tell to me your name, and if a baby I do have, I will call it the same. I am an earl's son from Carlisle, and I own these woods so green, but I was taken when I was young by a wicked fairy queen. But tomorrow night is Halloween, and all these nobles you will see. And if you come to the 5-mile gate, it's there you'll set me free. For first there'll come some dark, and then there'll come some brown. But when you see a milk-white steed, you must pull the rider down. Oh, first I'll turn to a lion wild, and then to a wicked snake. But hold me fast and fear me not, for I am one of God's own make, I am one of God's own make. And then I'll turn to a naked man, and an angry man I'll be. But throw your mantle over me, and then you'll have me free, free. then you'll have me free. And so that night at the midnight hour, Lady Margaret made her way, and when she came to the 5-mile gate, she waited patiently. Oh, first there came some dark, then there came some brown, but when there came a milk-white steed, she pulled the rider down. Oh, first he turned to a lion wild, and then to a wicked snake, but she held him fast, aye, and feared him not, for he was one of God's own make, own make. He was one of God's own make. And then he turned to a naked man, and an angry man was he, but she threw her mantle over him, and then she had him free, free. Aye, then she had him free. And cried the voice of the fairy queen, and an angry queen was she, saying, I had known yesterday what I know today, I'd have taken out your very heart's blood, and put in a heart of clay, and put in a heart of clay. Lady Margaret's on the milk-white steed, Lord William on the dapple grey, with their bugles and their horns hanging down by their sides. It's merrily they rode away, away. It's merrily they rode away.
That's wonderful, Cathy. Cathy, did you say at the start that somebody said to you that's not a version of Tam Lane?
Well, now,
I
Duncan
think somebody
Williamson
said that to you.
apparently-
I think they're very sadly mistaken.
Yeah. Duncan Williamson, I think, always said it wasn't. Ian Russell can maybe cast another eye on that, but I'm sure I read somewhere that he wouldn't have it, that it was a Tam Lin version.
I'm afraid he was wrong.
Not for Duncan.
Thanks, Cathy.
Thank
Rory,
you.
Rory Gregg, would you like to sing us a song, please, Rory?
Yep.
Lovely to see you here again, Rory. How are you getting on? Good?
I'm fine, yes. Over here in Lincolnshire. This is a Lincolnshire version of the Trois Corbies that'll be more familiar to you. There were 3 ravens on a tree, a down, a down, a derry down. There were 3 ravens on a tree, hey ho. There were 3 ravens on a tree, and black as any jet could be. A down, a down, a derry down, hey ho, said the middlemost raven to his mate. A down, a down, a derry down, said the middlemost raven to his mate. Hey ho, said the middlemost raven to his mate. Where shall we go to get oat to eat? A down, a down, a derry down, hey ho. It's down in yonder grass green field, a down, a down, a derry down. It's down in yonder grass-green field, hey-ho. It's down in yonder grass-green field, there lies a squire dead and killed. A down, a down, a derry down, hey-ho. His horse all standing by his side, a down, a down, a derry down. His horse all standing by his side, hey-ho. His horse all standing by his side, thinking he'll get up and ride. A down, a down, a derry down, hey-ho. His hounds all standing at his feet, a down, a down, a derry down. His hounds all standing at his feet, hey-ho. His hounds all standing at his feet, licking his wounds that ran so deep. A down, a down, a derry down, hey-ho. There comes his lady full of woe, a down, a down, a derry down. There comes his lady full of woe, hey-ho. There comes his lady full of woe, as big wee Ben as she can go. A down, a down, a derry down, hey-ho. She's lifted up the bloody head, a down, a down, a derry down. She's lifted up the bloody head, hey-ho. She's lifted up the bloody head and kissed the lips that were so red. A down, a down, a derry down, hey-ho. She lay her down all by his side, a down, a down, a derry down. She laid her down all by his side, hey-ho. She laid her down all by his side, and for the love of him she died. A down, a down, a derry down, hey-ho.
Brilliant. Lovely stuff, Rory. Thank you very much. Absolutely fantastic. So, Elizabeth Healy.
Yes.
Elizabeth, would you like to sing us a song,
present.
please?
Yes, that would be lovely. Thank you for the invitation.
You're very
I
welcome.
don't have a ghostly song, I'm afraid.
No, you don't have to have a ghostly song.
That's all right. Okay. It's I Live Not Where I Love. Come all ye maids that live at a distance, many's the mile from off your swain. Come and assist me this very moment, for to pass away some time. Singing sweetly and completely songs of pleasure and of love. For my heart is with him altogether, though I live not where I love. When I sleep, I dream about you. When I wake, I find no rest. For every moment thinking of you, my heart is fixed in your breast. Though far distance may be of assistance, if from my mind your love remove, Yet my heart is with you altogether, though I live not where I love. Oh, the world shall be of one religion, all living things shall cease to die. If ever I should prove false to my jewel, or any way his love deny, the world shall change and be most strange if from my mind your love remove. For my heart is with you altogether, though I live not where I love. So farewell, lads, and farewell, lasses. Now I think I've made my choice. I will away to yonder mountain, where I think I hear his voice. If he beckons, I will follow. If round the world that is so wide, for young Thomas he did promise I should be his lawful wife. Come all ye maids that live at a distance, many's a mile from off your swain. Come and assist me this very moment, for to pass away some time. Singing sweetly and completely songs of pleasure and of love. For my heart is with him altogether, though I live not where I love. Though I live not where I love.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. That was lovely. Lovely song and well sung. Thank you. Lovely.
Thanks.
John Keeley.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everyone?
Yes,
Hey, you are now. Oh, I like the T-shirt, John. Oh, I'm very
you like it? Yeah. I came dressed up as a member of the committee.
Hang on a second. We're getting our Keeleys and our Healy's mixed up. Can we just get John Keeley first? And I'll come back to you, John Healy, later on, okay?
Are we okay?
You're John Keeley. Yes, it's you, John.
Yes, I thought there was going to be a row there now.
Oh, never a row.
Yes, I came fancy dressed as a member of the committee this evening. So that was my... I'm going to sing a song that was... excuse me. A good friend of mine passed away last week called John Long. And he used to play in the show bands. And years ago, we had mobiles in Carn Beach, and we'd take the guitars out. And he loved the ballads, and he would always ask me when I was back then when I was just learning. He'd say, "What's the song you're learning?" You know. So we'd play and bang away. And he said to me one day, "I'm after writing words to the famous Finbar Fury Lonesome Boatman tune." And I went, "Okay," and he sang it, and it was amazing. And he gave it to me. So I recorded it on a CD of a band that play in, and he got buried last week, as I said, and they played it at his ceremony. So this is John Long's words to Finbar Fury's Lonesome Boatman. Have you seen the lonesome boatman out to sea? Crashing waves rise all around him. The seagulls join him on his merry way. As he sees those silver flashes far beneath the ocean waves. As he casts his nets out quickly to catch the fleeting skulls. we pray. Oh Lord, hear my plea. Please fill my nets for me, so I can serve the food for my family today. As the sun sinks in the ocean, robs the daylight from the sky, the old boatman, he heads for home. He's guided by the stars away up high. The mermaids sing their song on their rocks onto the shore, and they guide him back home once more. Have you seen the lonesome boatman fill his pipe by the fire, telling stories to his children, all his tales of his days at sea? Oh Lord, hear my plea. Please fill my nets for me, so I can serve the food for my family today. Have you seen the lonesome boatman as he sails out to sea? Crashing waves rise all around him, and the seagulls join him on his merry way. Good night, John.
Good man, John. Lovely, lovely. Well done, John. Lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely.
John Long. Thank you.
What was it? Was it Charlie Haughey who said if you needed to know about the Irish nation, you had to know about the lonesome boatman? Fergus Russell, have you got a song for us, Fergus?
Am I unmuted?
You are. You're fine.
All right. Yeah, I'll sing a song that I normally sing at this time of the year.
I thought you might.
You probably know the song I'm thinking about. It was one that Tom Crane used to sing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well done, Fergus.
Okay. Let's see. The wind does blow tonight, my love, a few small drops of rain. I never had but one true love. In cold clay she is laid. I would do as much for my own true love as any young man may. I would sit and mourn all on your grave for 12 months and 1 day. The 12 months the dead began to speak, saying, who is it lies all on my grave, and will not let me sleep? 'Tis I, thine own true love, that sits all on your grave. For I crave one kiss from your sweet lips, and that is all I crave. You crave one kiss from my clay cold lips, but my breath is earthy strong. Had you one kiss from my clay cold lips, your time would not be long. My time be long, my time be short, forever or one day. I care not whether I live or die. I would kiss your lips of clay. See down in yon green garden, love, where we used to walk, the fairest flower that ever grew is withered to a stalk. The stalk is withered dry, my love, so too your heart will decay. So make yourself content, my love, till time calls you away. The wind does blow tonight, my love, a few small drops of rain. I never had but one true love. In cold clay she is laid.
Lovely, Fergus. Thank you very much. Lovely. Well sung. Well sung. Moving quickly on. Chantal de Barra. Would you? Chantal. Hello, Chantal. How are you?
Surviving first day in Le Confinement in Paris, which is not easy. Yeah. Okay, I'll give this one a shot. If I can just say, Rebecca, I don't know if Rebecca Sweeney is still there, but Rebecca, your picture, your story, and the song you sung to your grandmother just really echoed and echoes with me, and it's very, very beautiful. Anyway, it just made me want to sing this song, which your grandmother might have sung. It's late and it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning here, so I'll just give it a go and hope I don't make a mess of it. But this is for your grandmother, Rebecca. and all the other women like her throughout history. If you be the lass of Aughrim, as I take it you mean to be, then tell me that first token that passed between you and me. Oh, Gregory, don't you remember that night on Góilín hill, when you and I met together? I'm sorry now to tell. Oh, the rain falls on my heavy locks, and the dew, it wets my skin. My babe lies cold within my arms. Lord Gregory, let me in. Oh, Gregory, don't you remember that night on yonder hill, when we swapped rings off each other's hand, sorely against my will? Mine was of the beaten gold, yours was but black tin. Mine was of the beaten gold, yours was but black tin. Oh, the rain falls on my heavy locks, and the dew, it wets my skin. My babe lies cold within my arms, but none will let me in. Lord Gregory, don't you remember that night in my father's hall, when you had your will of me, and that was worst of all? Oh, Gregory, don't you remember one night on the hill, when we swapped marks of each other's back, sorely against my will? Mine was of the Holland fine, yours was but Scotch cloth. Holland fine, yours was but Scotch cloth. Oh, the rain falls on my heavy locks, and the dew, it wets my skin. My babe lies cold within my arms, but none will let me in.
Well sung, Chantal. Lovely, lovely, sensitive, brilliant. Thank you. John Healy.
Oh, am I okay now?
You are, John.
Well,
Our Keelys and Healys were getting mixed.
I don't know. But, well, this isn't in the line of the songs tonight, all about death and babies. Well, we'll see. But this is Boys of the Loch, One Thing or the Other. And it's they got it from Paddy Tunney. At the age of 21, I was in the prime of life. My mother used to tell me to go and take a wife. To go and take a wife, sure I knew little about the butter. At the same time I was thinking on the one thing or the other. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. So I went to a wee girl that I for some time knew, to tell her what me mother was advising me to do. What's your errand, cried the sister, what's your errand, cried the brother. And to cut the story short, says as the one thing or the other. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. And now we have got married, we live a happy life. I'm her loving husband and she's my loving wife. We live in peace and harmony, right well content together. At our daily occupations and the one thing or the other. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. Well, a year passed away and we never knew a care. Now the neighbours say that I'm going to be an heir. It's a son, cried the sister, it's a daughter, cried the mother. And to cut the story short, says as the one thing or the other. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the day-o. 'Twas on a Monday morning, just as me story runs. On a Monday morning, when first I heard the twins. On a Monday morning, my grief I couldn't smother, as I listened to the wailing of the one thing and the other. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the daddy. Mushawaka rowdy down now, right fall the day-o.
Good man, John. Lovely. Great. Lovely. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Moving swiftly on. Time is rushing away. Ian Russell.
Mighty John.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Ian.
The evening's pressing on, and sorry, I'm going to be a little bit different. A song from my father. My father was brought up in the Presbyterian faith in Aberdeen, and well, it was a rule of the Presbyterian faith for many, many years that you couldn't sing the words of the Psalms except on the Sabbath. And so if you wanted to sing it, the Psalm, you had to have some different words. And this is one of his Psalms. Set the scene. And one day, you miserable sinners, you'll find yourselves at the foot of the bottomless pit. And you'll look up at the good Lord and you'll say, but Lord, Lord, we didn't ken. We didn't ken. And the good Lord will look down on you all and say, well, you ken noo. And now we'll sing that bonny psalm you all love so well. O mother dear Jerusalem, look down the lump at me. It may be nae a bonny face, but still it pleaseth me. O mother dear Jerusalem, look down the lump at me. It may be nae a bonny face, but still it pleaseth me. Jock Tamson had a wee bit dog, and oh, it was so sma', it crept into the kirkyard gate and pished against the wall. Oh, sing! Jock Tamson had a wee bit dog, and oh, it was so sma', it crept into the kirkyard gate and pished against the wall. And when the steam began to rise, it thought it was a fire. It lifted up its wee bit leg and pished just 2 bricks higher. Oh, sing! And when the steam began to rise, it thought it was a fire. It lifted up its wee bit leg and pished just 2 bricks higher. And when the steam began to rise, it turned itself about. It lifted up its wee bit tail and blew the damn thing out. Oh, sing! And when the steam began to rise, it turned itself about. It lifted up its wee bit tail and blew the damn thing out. Jock Tamson stands in his ain door, and he surveys the scene, and the stink that rose for his wee dog brought tears into his een. Oh, sing! Jock Tamson stands in his wee door, and he surveys the scene. And the stink that rose for his wee dog brought tears into his een. Amen.
Realise that I know you were a choir boy, Ian Russell.
And my grandfather was a priest.
Anthony O'Farrakhan. We'll take an hour on the casa.
Bes ní ra mis muoine mar an chudbe tá daoine eile an nach chóir in ó an chudbe. Pick somebody that didn't get a chance, Jerry. There's loads of people that didn't get a chance.
No, this will be the second last. It's just Elaine to finish now. It's you and Elaine. That's the way the girl who started, Elaine Dempsey. So if you want to sing, Anthony, it'd be lovely. If you don't want to sing and pass it on to Elaine, that's okay too. I'd like to hear you sing, Anthony.
Which a journey, Mike. Okay.
I haven't said that to you often. Sure, I haven't.
Oh, you might regret it. When summertime has gone and autumn winds are threatening to blow our love away, it is then love will be tested. Arm in arm we'll stand, side by side together, to face the common foe who would tear our love asunder. Nur tan saur a hart, agus gui an over ag bagart, ar an gra scuabach an siúl, is an sin gur gadúing seasa. Live alive gabun, Tíble chéile, Hanne chasse ver an wód, go dangen docht gan géile. Tooraloo-relay, tooraloo-laddie, tooraloo-relay, tooraloo-relay. Ye fair weather friends, where are you now? I need you. Gone like the autumn sun on a cold December morning, when hard times come around like cold and stormy weather. There's only you and I, my love, for to shelter one another. Tooraloo-relay, tooraloo-laddie, tooraloo-relay, tooraloo-relay. Is cardi bregid nach an dóibh nuair atá gáileo, scar atá muid lag, ach an éindí tá muid láidir. Nuair a hagan an drochaí koerts in de strim hivre, Níl annach tosif mishe chral, Chan faske hjortsen da chéile. Tooraloo-lay, tooraloo-laddie, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo-lay. If there's a time to fight, then there's a time for healing, as the sun will melt the snow on a clear, bright April morning. Our fight has run its course. Now is the time for healing. So let us both embrace sweet reconciliation. Tooraloo-lay, tooraloo-laddie, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo-lay. Mosan an tam le trade is auleg on the hardis. Marelian an hiri in the droogs le fani galna manje. Tar gorok katsinish nishan tam le reita. Sheen hugum and all the line, goshas muid lechele, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo-laddie, tooraloo-lay. No?
I've got to meet Anthony. Lovely. Gohalling our fault. Great. Thank you, Anthony. Okay, so thanks to everyone who came and sang and who listened and stayed the course. And in the tradition of the club, the person who sang the first song will sing the last song, and that's Elaine Dempsey. And we'll be back again next week with a very special night for we'll find about when. Just be here anyway. Elaine, away you go.
Jerry, can I hijack
yes,
for a
Marta,
minute?
go on, in you come.
Just Anthony singing there just put me in mind of it. We are running a workshop on Zoom for children through Irish. We put the workshops up on our website, Shamhna's Cushlifa website, on the 7th of November, and they'll be available for about a week. And then on the 14th, Saturday afternoon, the 14th of November, we're just running a short kind of session on Zoom, similar to the one we've just had tonight. For if any of you have, children or grandchildren, probably grandchildren in some of the cases, and I'm laughing at Anthony Farrakhan laughing, he hasn't got a grandchild to his name. But if there's any kind of grandchildren or nieces and nephews who are of kind of primary school age, it might be nice for them. There's 3 songs. One is on Cata Savohar. They're fairly simple kind of children's songs. I don't know if anyone is interested or if they might find someone who's interested, but they'll be up on the website. You can go to them at your leisure. They're not live, so nobody can hear you singing. And if you were interested, anyone here who's interested in learning a children's song in Irish, they would be very suitable for that as well. So that's just
And
just to
that's
let
in 2
people
weeks' time, Marla. It's on
yeah, we'll have
Saturday, the 14th of November.
yeah, we'll have the things up on our website, Channels Cushlifa, and they'll be up on the Góilín website as well, we hope. So they'll be up from the 7th of November, and then we'll be doing the session on the 14th, just if there's any kids who want to learn the songs, to give them a chance. All right, thanks William. Sorry to hijack there.
No, that's grand. So Elaine, you are definitely on now, Elaine.
Well, hello. Am I unmuted? Oh, yes, I am.
You are.
Well, that was just beautiful, Anthony. I was actually going to sing a wee comedy song about a Dundee ghost, but I'm feeling I'm feeling very sentimental now, and I've just been thinking about how lucky I am to be able to come along and see all you familiar, friendly strangers every week. And I think we're all feeling it a bit now. It's been going on so long that we can't sort of gather with our loved ones. So I'm going to sing an old Scottish song about friendship, if I can remember it, seeing as I'm doing a last minute swerve. Okay, this is in friendship's name. Here around the ingle blazing, was sae happy and sae free, though the northern wind blows freezy, friendship warms both you and me. Happy we've been all together, canty we've been yin and all, time shall see us all mair blither, ere we rise to gang awa. See the miser o'er his treasure, gloating wi' a greedy ee, wha can fill his woes wi' pleasure, as around us here we see. Happy we've been all together, canty we've been yin and all, time shall see us all mair blither, ere we rise to gang awa. Can the king in silk and ermine call his conscience half his own? His clays are edged and spun with vermin, though he sits upon a throne. Happy we've been all together, canty we've been yin and all, time shall see us all mair blither, ere we rise to gang awa. Thus then let us all be tassin', though o'er the stoop so generous fame, and while round the board is passin', raise a song in friendship's name. Happy we've been all together, canty we've been yin and all, time shall see us all mair blither, ere we rise to gang awa. Friendship makes us all mair happy, friendship gives us all delight, friendship consecrates the drappie, friendship brought us here the night. Happy we've been all together, canty we've been yin and all, time shall see us all mair blither, ere we rise to gang awa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elaine.